the judge said, oh, you know, will you stand up, of which he was already standing anyway.
Right.
And then he said, what's your name? And then he said, oh, sorry, what did you just say? And he said, what's your name? And he pulled a funny face at him and said, no, perhaps I didn't quite understand what you said. He said, what's your name? And he said, well, what do you think my name is? Which he said his name. And then he thought, right, okay, say that name again. And then he said it again. And by now the judge is obviously getting pissed off because he's thinking, shit, we haven't even got to screening you yet, and you can't even get past the first question. Then by the third time he said, you know what, maybe I'm not hearing you correctly. Can you write the name down, please? So he wrote it down on a piece of paper, passed it to the usher, usher brought it to him, all in capitals. And what he said was, I'm not the author of that name. And that was it. It was all over.
It's all over, yeah.
Yeah, it's all over. And it's such a different, less confrontational way of doing it, which I thought was just hilarious. I thought, yeah, I suppose it's the exact same thing, but it's just a little bit different.
That's right. And one of the things that Karl says too about being the man and the women is that you don't have to go right at them hard. Like, I was pulled out of my car they broke my window, they pulled me out, threw me in the ground, blooded me up and everything. But right for now, I'm just giving them a chance to just give me my property back. I'm trying to be a decent man, right?
Yeah, give them a space to correct their errors of weighing and, you know, learn from this themselves.
Exactly.
And get out there.
But if you refuse to give me my property back, then I'm going to go after the trespass, right?
Yeah, done.
Automatically.
I've got no choice. I'm going to have to now. You put me in the position. You did it. I didn't want to do it. No, you did it. And now it's all your fault, whatever happens from now on.
Exactly. And then what's funny is when I mailed my fair warning notices out, the cop that pulled me out of the car was at my court hearing. So he's obviously a little nervous because I haven't seen him since.
Yeah. But you'll see all sorts of stupidness going on, judges changing, X, Y, and Z. And I mean, the other one which I had coming back to when you're trying to get, say, an admin staff or somebody to try and conform, the one which I had was where in fact, it was for the possession case I was trying to do in the admin court, where I didn't fill out the forms and I handed it in, and I was a bit rusty before, so this is the first time I was actually a bit more on the ball. And she said, oh, brilliant, no problem, and we need this much money, brilliant, there's your money. And she said, oh, I'll just double check, make sure we got everything in here before I stamp it and then give you your copy back. I went, yeah, fine, brilliant, excellent, just tell me if I've missed anything. And she said, oh, there's no application form. And I said, yes, there is, it's on the top. And she said, oh, that's not a proper application form. I don't know what that is. No, you have to have an application form. I said, brilliant. I've got an application form. It's right at the bottom. If you go down to the last page, the last 2 pages, you'll see the application form, and there's a blank version. And I wrote Exhibit K or something on it. I can't remember what I wrote on it. And she said, yeah, but it's blank. I can't take this. It hasn't been filled in correctly. I went, oh, all right. So you're now giving me legal advice. And there's a sticker here in front of the window that says that you don't give legal advice. And her face just dropped. And she thought, shit, what do I say to that? And I said, but you're now telling me that I have to fill this form out. But that's legal advice. And she just didn't know which way to turn. She just thought, oh, my God, what do I say? And then I said to her, in a nice way, I said, well, you know what? If you're right, this is the quickest £200 that this judge is ever going to make. Because if it really is true, I'm just going to turn up to the first hearing and he's going to throw it out. And that is the quickest £200 that anyone's ever going to earn. And she started laughing. And she thought, hey, he's got a point. Start it. And she just stamped it and she gave me it back.